Okay, let's talk about 2020. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and happy new year. I hope the new year is treating you well, but if it's not, if you feel a bit overwhelmed, if you're failing your resolutions already, don't worry because hopefully this video will help you get off on the right foot. Today I want to share a few things that I'm doing to feel refreshed and energized in the new year and ready to just start again basically, and a couple of like goal setting tips and a few goals that I have as well. And today's video is very kindly being sponsored by Babbel, which is a language learning app. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later when I get to the goals portion of the video. Anyway, let's jump in and talk about the first thing that I did around the house to make myself feel a little bit more refreshed for the new year, and that is giving my space a very good clean. Having a good clean was exactly what I needed in this house to feel a lot more refreshed and a lot less closed in. I live and I work in this space, and sometimes I let my work creep into the wee hours of the morning and I forget to clean, and I really want to keep on top of that this year because yeah, it gets very messy. And on a very similar note, having a good declutter will really help you if you feel like your space is getting a little bit overwhelming and overcrowded. If you've been following my decluttering journey, last year I got rid of a ton of stuff that I accumulated while I was moving. Since then, I've definitely managed to get rid of a lot of stuff that I collected and didn't need. I'd say about 75% of it, and I feel a lot better, and the extra 25% I'm still working on, and I'll keep you updated. But what I'm trying to say is having a good declutter will really help you out in the new year, even if you do room by room or you start with picking 100 items. I did this once, it was really fun, very therapeutic. But decluttering will help you organize your stuff better, and it will help you keep things clean, because if everything has a place where it belongs and you don't have so many things that your drawers won't even close, I promise you it just feels a lot cleaner and tidier. Trust me on this one, I've come a long way. And one more house related tip: if you feel like your space is clean enough, decluttered enough, but you're just not vibing with the space anymore. Can't believe I just said the word vibing out loud. If you're just not feeling the space anymore, there we go. Have you thought about having a reshuffle of all of the bits and pieces you have in your house? Now, you've probably seen me do this way too many times. I'm guilty of doing it probably every month or so, but I love moving items from one room to another because it doesn't cost anything, but it makes my space feel really refreshed and like I had a mini makeover. Just mix and match things a little bit, create maybe a new theme, and do it without spending any money. Now let's move on to setting some goals. I'm a big goal-oriented person and I like setting goals, but I hate setting the kind of goals where you have to give something up and you have to be good every single day, because quite frankly it feels very restrictive. It means you can't have fun. I tried to give up Coke Zero, it failed miserably, so I'd rather be able to, you know, have that Coke Zero if I'm out with my friends, or perhaps once in a while if I'm really stressed and I just want to hear like the of the can. Oh, I love that sound. Instead, I'm focusing on setting some goals that I can progress with throughout the year that will hopefully, by the end of the year, make me feel like I've perhaps achieved something that I wanted to do. So how am I planning on doing this? Well, I'm taking the goals that I have for the year and making them SMART goals. Oh, good old SMART goals. I spent most of my university career having to use SMART goals in some way, shape or form, and you know what? It's ingrained into my brain and it actually works. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant and timely, and your goals should ideally fit into those categories. So if you take a piece of paper and you write down the goal that you have in mind, can you make sure that it fits with all of these things, and then expand a little bit. How are you actually going to take smaller actionable steps to make that goal work over a longer period of time. Another thing I like to do is make a Pinterest board. I know this is very basic, but last year I made a Pinterest board with my 2019 goals, and although I didn't achieve all of them, looking back, I actually did quite a lot of them. And I think the act of, you know, looking at what you really want to do and putting it into a visual form rather than just writing it down can help remind you that actually these are a few things I'd really like to get done. Bonus points if you print it out and you put it on your wall, but my printer has run out of ink and the ink is more expensive than the printer, so I refuse to buy another cartridge because I am a cheapskate. Anyway, something else I want to try this year is a different way to look at my to-do list. Sometimes I get a bit overwhelmed because I write everything down, I have to do everything, and then I don't prioritize things, and that's not the best way to do it. So I saw somewhere, maybe on Twitter a few weeks ago, I saw a post going around where essentially someone was saying they're prioritizing their to-dos with rocks and sand. The rocks are obviously the bigger items that you absolutely have to get done that day, and the sand are the items that you should get done as soon as possible, but they're not essential to get done right there and then that day. And I'm thinking a little bit about how I can use this to make my to-do list seem a little bit less overwhelming, but let's try that one too. But how am I going to try and use some of these tools to work on my goals this year? Well, the goals that I want to focus on are to learn a few new things and to be more creative. And one of those things that I'm trying to learn is conversational Italian. I go to Italy sometimes with my nan, and I really like to be able to know a bit more of the language and speak a bit more of it rather than knowing just how to order an ice cream, which is, to be honest, the most important thing, but there is a bit more I'd like to expand into. And that's where Babbel comes in. And like I said, they're very kindly sponsoring today's video, and I've really been enjoying using the app. Something to know about me is that I have pretty much downloaded every language learning app that there is, and I've gotten on with very few of them, to be quite honest. Until I found Babbel, which is much more conversation based, which works so much better for me. It really immerses me into the language, and that's kind of how I learn the best. They have a range of different languages and they focus on the listening, the speaking, the grammar, the vocab. They do all of it. And with Babbel, one lesson will only take you 15 minutes out of your day, so it's really easy to fit around your schedule. Last year, my goal was actually to get a little bit conversational in Korean because I'm spending some time there this year and I'm really excited about it, but it was a big goal and I'm still continuing with that, but I also want to do the Italian on the side, and I'm actually not struggling with juggling them both because I learned them in different ways. Obviously the sentence structure for Korean is very different, and I really feel like writing things down with that one works better. I will of course leave Babbel linked in the description below if you want to check it out, and at the moment they're offering 6 months for the price of 3 using the link. They also have like a little free trial that you can use, which is what I started on and realized that I really liked it, so check it out below. And something I'd really like to do this year is get a little bit more inspired and creative with the process of making my YouTube videos. I feel like over the last couple of years I lost a bit of that spark and I'm trying to get it back again, and I've realized that what I tend to do is spend sometimes 7 days a week, really late nights, creating loads of video content and then only putting out half because I don't like it. And even then, the stuff that I put out, I'm not super happy with. And I think I could solve a lot of this problem by taking a step back before I make my videos and just, you know, trying to read a few more books, learn a bit more about decor, read magazines, go to museums, and just do a few more things that might really creatively give me a kick up the backside. So those are some of the things that I'm going to be doing in the new year. And the last thing I want to talk about to have a great 2020 is practicing gratitude. I'll be honest, 2019 for me was a bit of a roller coaster. It was not the best year and not a great way to end a decade, but that being said, it didn't mean that I had a horrible year all the time. So I think it's really important to look back and list some of the things that you're really grateful for. Go through your camera roll and write like a list of all the things that made you happy that year, even the small things like seeing a cute dog on the street or having a movie night with your friends. Practicing gratitude is something that makes me feel a lot more warm and fuzzy inside, especially when I'm stressed or feeling a little bit down in the dumps. It's something that definitely lifts my spirits quite a lot, and I promise you, if you haven't done it before, do try it because it really works. And if you have anything that you've been grateful for throughout 2019 or grateful for up and coming in the new year, I'd love to know about it in the comments down below. Let's kind of spread some positivity amongst ourselves and just feel that gratitude. Anyway, that is everything that I have to share with you all today. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you are feeling a little bit overwhelmed by 2020, maybe it gave you a few ideas. And with all of that being said, Happy New Year! I really hope you have a fantastic 2020, and I'll see you next time. Bye!